As AI summit is unfolding in New Delhi, India faces a critical question whether AI can be an area for a global public good, or is it going to be the next arena where major powers, especially countries such as US and China, are going to confront each other. What is the role India, or what kind of role India has to play as far as the entire global AI ecosystem is concerned? What are the lessons we can learn from Homi J, Bhabha, who was the pioneer of nuclear technology in India? The Cold War-like situation where geopolitics was strongly heated, the entire world was divided into poles between Soviet Union and United States of America. How we developed nuclear technology in India, what kind of threats and problems and challenges we had to face, and how all of these that happened between 1950s to 1970s can be an important lesson for us, so that same mistakes will not repeat in the case of artificial intelligence, because many experts and scholars argue that AI is going to be the next critical sector where major powers are going to challenge each other and also are going to confront each other. Now, if you try to look, first of all, the reason why we are discussing about this topic is because you know that in New Delhi, capital of India, AI summit is underway, and it is during this AI summit a question has come in the mind of scholars that whether this is area, this is the field of artificial intelligence when you talk about, is where global cooperation we would witness in the coming days, or whether countries would work with the objective of protecting their national strategic interest. And this question is not only for US, China, South Korea or Japan. This question is for every country who want to create and develop AI based ecosystem and use it to propel itself on the path of next gen development as such. So AI obviously has been seen today as a transformative tool as far as the economy, military, and even the governance is concerned. That's why India has taken this initiative of holding the summit. India, if you talk about the overall, the motto of the summit also clearly express what kind of this we can say ideology India has as far as the AI is concerned. So welfare for all and happiness of all. That is what kind of AI ecosystem India wants to create. It does not want to create a narrow AI ecosystem which only benefit a certain section of people or certain countries. It wants to create such ecosystem which is beneficial for all the countries in the world. But the biggest question is that whether other countries also think in a similar manner or not. And that is where the core dilemma lies. The dilemma lies in the two basic ideologies that many times seems to be at conflict with each other. These are universalism on one hand and the national interest on the other. This dilemma also we have seen keep coming and recurring in news every now and then after coming of new administration in the United States of America, where Trump has taken this approach of make America great again, where again the United States, which were considered as a leading country, which used to lead the world, which was most open country, which was considered as the bastion of capitalism, now it is taking such kind of policy approaches which are favoring protectionism, and that is where such kind of question also can be asked. So AI as a global public good, whether this statement itself, this term itself is justified or not, AI definitely has a strategic national asset, because today AI is not only confined to one particular sector, it is being used in all the sector, including critical sectors such as defense, electrical vehicles, etc. Also, cooperation, to what extent we can expect global cooperation in this field, especially when the geopolitical rivalry is something that clearly is expressed all across the world, whether it is between US and China, whether it is between US and Russia, whether we talk about the north and south, south and south. So a lot of such kind of rivalry many times threaten the development of cooperation in such kind of critical field as such. And the biggest we can say rivalry that will shape the entire AI ecosystem in the coming days is going to be between US and China, because experts argue competition between both countries is going to intensify in coming days, and which country will become winner, we have to wait, watch and see. Every transformative technology is shaped by rivalry. That is also one statement we have to keep in mind. AI is not one such kind of field where countries have basically collided with each other, confronted with each other. Example of this we can see from the nuclear technology era itself, when two major power, United States on one hand and Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, also called as Soviet Union, were trying to build nuclear technology at a rapid pace. In 1945, you know that United States of America, there obviously got an edge and became the first country to develop nuclear weapon. But after that, in several years later, USSR also was able to develop nuclear weapon, and then we can see many other countries also followed the same path as such. Same future we can expect in the case of artificial intelligence. Today, US is still involved here, but USSR, which later on disintegrated into several countries in 1991, today we can say that China has emerged as a major threat or rival to US. China is also developing AI-based technology at a rapid pace, and this especially in the context of its sheer dominance as far as the critical and the rare earth materials are concerned. Now, export controls, industrial policy, standards, battles, all these are expected to further rise in future as well. And no nation can treat AI as only a public good. That is also one, we can say, idea that is being floated by several scholars. Now, if we try to learn lesson from our historical past, we can go to 1955 Geneva Conference. It was this Geneva Conference which was called as UN Conference on Peaceful Uses of Atomic Energy. The conference was chaired by Dr. Homi J, Bhabha, and here he, while discussing and talking about the delegates of other countries, he tried to create a position of India, that what kind of policy India will have, what kind of vision India will have as far as the nuclear or atomic energy is concerned. So he clearly has listed India want to become a bridge builder, bridge between the East and West, overall between Soviet Union and United States of America. It advocated, Jahangir Bhabha or Homi Bhabha advocated India basically as a peaceful user of atomic energy, and he firmly believed that indigenous capability has to be developed, and then by doing so we'll be able to develop this atomic energy technology or nuclear energy technology solely for peaceful uses. Example can be nuclear energy generation. This was a statement that was given by him. Bhabha also emphasized that all countries which already have access to such critical technology should not shy away from sharing this technology with the developing countries. And the reason behind this is simple, because such kind of access of such technology will be beneficial for developing world, as it will be able to build domestic capacity to shape global norms. Not only that, Homi Bhabha also believed that such technology can also increase the rate at which countries are developing, including India itself. India was able to secure cooperation from several countries at that time, whether it is US, Canada, UK and France, and many of the historians argue it was because of the strong bond Homi Jahangir Bhabha had with the scientific communities of these countries. That is why India was supported by many of the members here. Key insight was build at home, engage abroad. That was the policy adopted by the pioneer of atomic energy in India, and that is the lesson we can learn also in the case of artificial intelligence. We have to definitely develop our ecosystem, develop our building technology, domestic production capacity, but at the same time we cannot do so in isolation. We need engagement and consultation and close cooperation with the major players, especially US and China in this case. Now, we also have to remember a cautionary tale, because if you look at the next few years after the 1955, we have seen that Homi Jahangir Bhabha died unfortunately, and further in 1964, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, also died. The entire nuclear program of India was largely shaped by these two visionary leader, one leader of scientific world, another leader of the political world as such. So this unfortunate death of these two leaders caused a massive decline in the overall nuclear capability of India. Decline, we can say, not in nuclear capability, but the rapid pace at which India was developing its technology, and that led to a strategic misreading, because many countries were not able to understand what kind of objective and what kind of goal and vision India has with reference to nuclear technology. So it led to some extent of nuclear isolation, and that also led to domestic stagnation, because we cannot cooperate in such critical sector. Domestic production capacity also suffers, and that is what we see. And interestingly, if you look here, India was pioneer as far as the developing world is concerned in heralding the era of nuclear technology, in having discussion at global platform, as we have seen in the case of Geneva Convention. China, South Korea, on the other hand, were late entrants. They entered late in the sector, but were able to build a competitive nuclear industry. And India, to some extent, due isolation, nuclear isolation, then again, it took several decades for it to recover. And that is the biggest lesson we have to learn. We have to avoid such kind of policy drift in artificial intelligence, as we have seen the case of India after 1960s in the case of nuclear technology. Current AI position, if you try to mark what is India's current AI position, so obviously there is a growing domestic artificial intelligence investment and strong ties with US tech ecosystem. Majority of US companies, American tech companies, they have invested heavily in India for the production of chips. For example, we can take example of Indian engineers, on the other hand, are also working continuously in Silicon Valley. US firms are investing in India's R&D ecosystem. So to some extent, we can see a great extent of cooperation, not only in the area of technology transfers and technical transfer, but also in the area of the personal collaborations. Internal capability plus external collaboration today seems to be the way how India is handling its artificial intelligence sector. Threefold imperative we have, however, as far as India is concerned. First, we need to accelerate our national artificial intelligence capacity, because still we are lagging behind far from the two major players, that is United States of America and China as such. We have to catch up with them as fast as possible. This is only possible again if we deepen our global partnership, especially with the Western world, such as United States of America, Canada, Australia, and all these countries. And we also have to continuously engage at a diplomatic level. We have to continuously be able to shape global artificial intelligence governance debate, and India cannot be just be sitting on the sidelines. India cannot be just a passive player here, but it has to actively engage with all the major stakeholders. Strengthening of national capability is the way how we can do that, because no matter how much and whatever you are saying, if you do not have the capacity to back it up, you will not be taken seriously. And that's where expansion of computing infrastructure can play a key role here, where again we are lagging behind. We have to strengthen research and universities as far as the artificial intelligence, the field related to computing is concerned. You have to ensure skill development and AI workforce training to ensure that the demand of next generation can be fulfilled by such workers, skilled workers. And we have to have a clear regulatory framework so that any kind of investment, if it is being made in the sector, is not jeopardized due to the lack of proper regulation and the confusion as such. International partnership also we have to strengthen here, especially with US and advanced economies. But at the same time, we have to ensure that just because we want to have cooperation, strong cooperation, we should not be willing to compromise our strategic autonomy, no matter which field you're talking about. This applies to artificial intelligence as well. We have to avoid, on the other hand, over dependency on any one block as well. And that's where India is also very well suited, because on one hand, India is a member of BRICS group, which includes China. It is also a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, that again includes China. And at the same time, India is also a member of Quad groups, which include United States and other developed countries, Western Bloc we can say. India is rapidly developing its relationship in the critical sectors such as defense, space, artificial intelligence with the major European countries like France and Germany. And at the same time, India also has been included in several of the partnership or groups that the Western countries have formed to ensure that the critical supply chain with reference to rare earth minerals and the other minerals are not compromised. So India enjoys a very good position as far as the current situation is concerned, and this is what India should ensure going further ahead as well. As far as the debate and the discussion about governance and global south is concerned, India, we know that from past several years has represented itself as a leading country which is leading the global south, and their domestic success can easily be connected to the global responsibility here. India is a voice of global south. There is no doubt today. Many small, medium-sized countries, medium-sized economy today, whether they are from Asia or Africa, they look toward India to show them a guiding path, what actually they should do, what should be the area where they should progress and grow. So AI for development, inclusion, economic transformation can be one of the critical sectors, critical areas where India can lend support and help to these countries, using which the development can be ensured there. Practical governance, not rhetorical idealism. At least that is what we should be governed by as far as the current policy is concerned. We should focus on coming up with such kind of initiative, such kind of solution, which is practically implementable, which is able to ensure that governance is also governance is transformed for a better as such. We do not have to just focus on idealistic principle and just repeating the rhetoric which we have done for several years as such, or several decades as such. We have to be more practical to be taken seriously in this critical sectors. That's all about this particular video. If you like the video, please like button, share it with aspirants, as well as subscribe channel for more content. Thank you very much.